when you speak about the music and the catalogs and stuff like that, you know, Dr. Dre, you know, he in the middle of a deal for 200 M's for a portion of his catalog. How do you feel about that? Are you gonna do the same thing with your UGK catalog?
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, I would be splitting that catalog with the estate, but I mean, yeah. At a certain point, your rights to your work revert back to you anyway.
Yeah. How long be Bun? People need to know that. How long?
I think Face was saying 25 years, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. I'm on Sony, and Sony has a new grandfather clause. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm sure I'm mislabeling it. But if you were signed to Sony before 2000, and you haven't accepted any advances from a Sony subsidiary within a certain period of time, they will clear your bill. So they take you back to zero. So the only reason that UGK was signed before, we were right there, but we took an advance on that last album, on the last two albums for UGK, so we had to wait, because we took the advance in 07, I think. We have to wait 7 years after we hit that. So I think in 2027, because it's a 7-year period where we took money after 2000. You know what I'm saying? So once we hit 2027, I believe our balance is clear with Sony. And then from that point on, because UGK has never made $1 in royalties from the selling of our music. And we didn't have our own publishing for about 17 years.
My God.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm in that position right now.
You know what I'm saying? So we've just, right before he passed, all rights reverted back to us. So I licensed my publishing out to companies.
How
you know
did
what
you
I'm
make that happen, Bun? Because Sony put Straight from the Deck out. And we got an advance back then, and so I'm way past that.
Right.
So how do I go about that? What do I call?
Yeah, I mean, Sony. Yeah, you should just be able to reach out to Sony. You know what I'm saying? Because who has? We went to a subsidiary company now. It was fully loaded Sony.
Okay. So it wasn't directly to Sony, but fully loaded that with Sony. Sony distributed the record.
See, I was on Jive Records, right? And then Jive isn't a label anymore. So then everything from Jive went to Sony.
Yeah.
So that's who probably had my music.
So if your label isn't a label anymore, and that individual didn't outright own the master, like if he just did a joint venture or something like that, and he doesn't own the master, and I'm pretty sure the rights to that master reverted to Sony. But see, Sony has so many artists. You know, it's they probably just still in the B's. You way down in the G's. You know what I'm saying? But it's not something. I don't think that's something difficult to find out. And when all this is over, I can try to help you with it because I don't know everything about it. Face was breaking a lot of that down to me as far as master ownership right reversal. You know what I'm saying? And my attorney Bernie Resnick, if you need a good attorney, was trying to help me explain the idea of the clearing of the debt, because I think UGK is still at least over $2 million in the red with that label.
With Sony.
With Sony.
How? After all of these streams and all of this time, they still pulling that
because it's built on a percentage. It's not built. This thing is never built about how much money your art makes. It's about how much money you make of what your art makes. So with us having a 15% deal, right?
Yeah.
That 15% has never gotten close
to paying back all the money.
Back the debt that whereas their 85% they profit very easily.
Right.
But we signed for this, you get paid that, don't matter what that bitch sells. So if you put out an album, you sign it. If you sign for 10% and your album sell 1 million records, your 10% is 100,000, theirs is 900. So they done made their money back from you, but you still owe them money because you probably took an advance, you shot videos, you had to record an album. So you owe them $550. That's on the low side. Good. You made 100,000. Yeah. Right. But the album generated 900,000, but your share is only 100,000. So you still owe me 350, my nigga. So, but because I cut for you, I give you another advance, and we can start the process.
Labels were the worst thing that happened to artists back, and I told you that.
So the best thing you can do, damn near, as an artist, is negotiate a high up front. Sometimes.
Nah, I'm with that.
Right. A lot of artists, that's the best. Let me look right, and then you just it's debt. You just balling in debt, or you know.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna ask you this then. So for new artists, do you feel like they should just go ahead and tackle this thing independent and never get in bed with the majors, or how do you think they should play the game now?
Again, we talk about people getting lucky and people being hustle minded and having a plan.
Yeah.
That's the difference. If you know you're not no hustler, you know you ain't got no plan, go take that money from them folks.
right.
If you know you ain't do good in math,
Yeah.
you know, and shit like that. I'm just being real.
No, be real.
And not only did you not do good in math at school, you didn't do good with math on
At
the street
home.
after school,
Yeah,
on a
in the
day-to-day.
trap either.
Man, go get that money from them people.
I was getting away too much word.
Period. Just go get that money. But if you believe you have a plan and a team and you got enough bread to try to get to the next step and you want to go for it, go for it.
Exactly.
Because everybody turned Soldier down.
Yeah.
Everybody turned Soldier down. He took it to the people. The people said, no, we like this. Then literally everybody, for a period of time, loved it.
My God.
Loved it. And these some of these things, that's the beauty of being able to get the music directly to the people, because these
Yeah.
the record people don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
Again, luck. They end up signing the right person with the right look and the right sound at the right time, and that shit work. Because for every label artist that you see being successful, it's probably 15, 20 motherfuckers on the roster that, I mean, we got to write these niggas off as
And they were
losses.
good. And they a lot of them
No, they were good, but they were in the hands of people that didn't know. Let's say I send my demo to Elektra. Let's just randomly. No disrespect to Sylvia Wrong. Right. Let's say I'm from Port Arthur, Texas. I send my demo to Elektra. You from Georgia. You send your demo to Elektra. You from Brooklyn. You send your demo to Elektra. Your A&R from Queens. He ain't never been to Georgia. He don't know what the fuck you talking about. Right? He know about Georgia, but he don't know nothing about it.
Right.
He ain't never heard of Port Arthur.
Yeah.
So he completely lost. He knows some shit about Brooklyn. His ex-girlfriend from Brooklyn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? His
Right.
cousin and them live in Brooklyn. He knows some shit about Brooklyn.
Right.
He know the terminology. He know the slang. He know the projects the nigga talking about. Oh, it's easy for me to work with this because I know more about it. It don't matter if you jamming or I'm jamming. He can't do his job to the fullest. Because if he try to do your project, he gonna drop the ball. Your project not gonna go, not just because you jamming, because the nigga signed to make your album more palatable to the masses don't understand you enough to find the balance.
Wow. Now that's crazy right there.
So is he gonna jeopardize his job?
Hell no.
He might like your music more.
Yep.
He don't know what to do with it.
That Greg Street told me that a long time ago. What's up, Greg? Greg told me that same thing a long time ago. He said, "Wicked, y'all came out at a point and it was so different, and then y'all talking Decatur shit. The industry wasn't ready for it. They didn't.
It
He
wasn't.
said, I used to talk to A&Rs and stuff. They used to be like, they liked it, but they just didn't get it. It was what can we do with these two niggas?
Because in order for it to work, they got to get all the way out the way.
And let it be.
And just let it be, and let it be what's going to be, and let you do what you're going to do. But the assumption is that we can't leave these young black boys with this money just free to do what they're going to do.
Exactly.